Welcome back, beautiful souls, to the channel. I'm Chica, your conscious mentor, medicine woman, and Reiki master. Today, I actually was not planning to record this video, and then I woke up this morning and I got so many downloads and I'm like, let's do this video. It's not what I planned, but it is divine timing, and I think it's going to help you guys a lot. So today I'm going to be talking about a card reading for the Leo full moon that's happening on February 5th, 2023. But essentially the reading that I'm going to be giving you is going to be from now till 6 months from now. So what to expect and why this Leo full moon is so powerful between now and August, which is going to be really crazy. So before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells. I do moon energy updates every single month, and I also do all things about shadow work and plant medicine. So if these are things you're interested in, we would love to have you be part of our family. So subscribe and make sure you put notification bells so you know where there's any video. And a couple things I want to share with you guys really quickly because I want to get right into it, and so many messages I'm already getting. One, there's a new program. It's a 4-week program called Seeding Intention, where we are going to be connecting with the plant medicine from the Amazon Hepe, and it is a live Zoom healing and also teaching of how to self-apply Hepe. So if you are interested in that, DM me on Instagram at Shika_Chica, or you can email me at my website. 2 medicine retreats are open. 4 of them still are open. So we have the Magic Retreat that's happening in March, the Divine Masculine Retreat that's happening in June, the Activated Goddess that's happening in August, and then we also have the Untold Stories that is happening in end of November, and that one is going to be the ancestral one. So if you have been wanting to work with me, medicine ceremonies are so profound. There's so much magic that happens in this space. And if you've been curious, or maybe you're wondering, even if it's your first time, please send me a message if you have any questions, but you can apply in the Google form down below. Some of the retreats are already filling up quite quickly, so apply as soon as you can. And yes, there are payment plans to support you. Lastly, I want to share is I am going to be doing a one-time offer, and this offer is going to be a 30-minute session that's going to be able to do a reading with me, and this 30-minute in-depth reading is only going to be applicable for February. So if you're interested in doing a reading with me, I know I never do them, I am going to make a one-time thing because I think what I've received today and what I'm going to share with you is going to be really deep. So you can book your reading with me down below, and yeah, and then let's get into the video. This was really powerful. I got from the gym and I was like, let's do this. So if you have some tea, coffee, or maybe just put your headphones on as you're at work, I don't know what your situation, let me know where you're listening to this, because I'm always curious. I'm like, are you guys listening to this after work? When do you listen to these videos? Because sometimes you're live, sometimes you're not. So let's get into the reading and what you need to know about this Leo full moon on February 5th, 2023 and onwards for the next 6 months till August. So let's pull out some cards and kind of go from here. If you can do a deep breath with me. So just closing the eyes, take a deep breath in, exhaling out, deep breath in, exhaling out, deep breath in, exhaling out, deep breath in, exhaling out. Okay, let's see what we got, guys. So just calling spirit for any messages for the next 6 months for our community and our collective, what they need to know from the Leo full moon onwards. This is a very special one, and I'm going to go into why as I read these cards because they're coming in. So let's see what you need to know about this Leo full moon. Okay, so let's start with our first spread, and then we will go from there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, so changing. So there's definitely a lot of change that I've sensed for this Leo full moon that's happening on February 5th and onwards for the next 6 months for all of us collectively. The first thing I am seeing just from the cards that we got is there's going to be this deep change and knowing that's going to happen for you. And this starts with this Leo full moon. What I felt sensed wise, and I'm going to share with you guys the cards because I know some of us are visual. I'm a visual too. I love visual. Is first of all, we have the moon, which is representation of right now. This is where we are right now. And you are receiving a deep knowing, a deep knowledge, a deep wisdom of something that is maybe has been on a pedestal for a while. And the three things that are coming up for me is one, spiritual ego is about to get checked out. Like checked out. I don't know about you guys, but I'm receiving it and I'm definitely seeing it with the collective is spiritual ego. What is spiritual ego? Spiritual ego is the fact that we think that because of our experience of what we've gone through, that we are higher than other people. And it is subconscious. Usually we don't even know that it happens. But the beautiful thing about this full moon in Leo is it's teaching us like the ego is protecting something that's wounded, right? And you are going to understand that that validation that you've been putting on a pedestal on a subconscious level, that you've been using your journey to protect, you know, the healing to protect that there's something wrong with you, that there's something that you need more of. That deep knowing is going to be unveiled during this full moon, and it's going to be quite powerful. I do want to remind you guys that we are currently right now with the Leo around this time, we are out of retrograde till like about April. So if we're out of retrograde right now, this is the time of doing, right? And in order for us to do, we also need to be intentional with it and intuitive with this. This is what that deep knowing is teaching us. So I'm going to read the card. We have 4-3, so 43. I don't know if anyone is 43 or if anyone resonates with the number 43, but this message might be more for you. I always like to point it out if I feel called to. Intuition, listening to the oracle within, empathy, and hypersensitivity. So you are receiving these deep, like naked eye. You're getting the veil removed and you're like almost like a rug is being pulled under you, and it doesn't feel like you fell and you didn't see it coming. Like you saw it coming. Like you know that you're having this tower moment, and this is for those who resonate with this, where you're like ego's just getting checked. It's just getting checked. It's like, okay, ego, we know you're wounded. It's okay. We need to support you here. Like you don't have to do this alone, essentially. So you're getting a deep knowing with this. Now, another thing here is know that your ability to read between the lines and find all the truth of the missing when the story was told. So, you know, this is going to go back to by the book. This is another card that came up and now I'm seeing where it's connected. And you see there's 3 elements. And it's so funny because I was talking about this in my TikTok. If you guys follow me on TikTok, I do a lot of videos there that just like channel messages, and it's just so easy to just go on there and do it for you guys. But it has 11 here, the number 11. So it's new beginning. So it's telling me that you're getting a deep knowing from a lineage, like from validation. I feel like the validation comes from someone before you. I would even say like mother, feminine energy. This can also be by father, but I really think when we look at root, the way I work, guys, is I focus, even when I do my healings, you guys know if you've been to my retreats, if you've worked with me one-on-one, I get to the root. We don't just focus on the stuff on top. We get deep into the root. We look at the roots and we see what the roots need. We don't look at the flower, right? So here it's saying that there's 3 generations is what's coming up for me. There's 3 generations of knowledge that is coming up for you by the book. Ways that your ancestors have done things, have dealt with their emotions are now being rewritten, is now being written on all levels. Since the Leo full moon is also focused on heart, it's focused on relationships. So it's focused on the relationships you have, but also the relationships that are coming in your subconscious. This is why empathy, hypersensitivity, and deeper knowledge. So it's like intuitively, whether it's through your dreams, whether it's through the name of your ex coming up or name of a friend that's coming up, or around this time last year, you were in a different space and that memory is coming up. It's now coming up to your field because there is this deeper healing that needs to be done. And again, it's going to be so quick, guys. It's not going to be like something really hard. It's going to be quick if you allow it to and you just surrender to it. You're given information that may not make sense to whatever logical sense it does, but it's 100% true. So you might be doing a meditation and you get this memory that comes up, and it doesn't make sense. You're like, there's no way that this happened to my mother. There's no way that this happened to my father. There's no way that this happened to me. But the subconscious has a way of like, you know, kind of telling us that it's not human logic, so it's not real, right? The same thing with our gifts. Like some of you are getting in a revelation that maybe you're hearing and seeing things, and the fear is of seeing, the fear is of hearing, the fear is of connecting with something beyond you. And your revelation during this Leo full moon is like almost like we're rewriting it, right? So what's coming up for some of you and what's been coming up for collectively is that, you know, if some people did things differently, what are the things that your parents did differently? And if you gravitate to mom or dad, just follow that intuitiveness. The next thing I want you to do as we're talking is what things they do differently that you might not agree with. Now, do you still do those things because you want to protect a part of yourself, protect judgment, protect validation? This is the Leo full moon talking in that energy. And if so, this Leo full moon is going to clear that. Now, in the next 6 months, you are going to understand and repattern everything by the book. You are going to start to step into a new pattern for your life, all those before and all those after. I want to go to this card and read it for you guys because I find it's helpful. So, admitting to social rules, conformity, respect culture, family customs, universal laws. Now, this is really interesting because there's a balance here. It's understanding that we can honor the traditions that our ancestors have done. There's two parts of this reading. The next 6 months, some of you are reconnecting with your ancestors. Like you're connecting spiritually with your ancestors. One thing that I've been loving to do, and I don't know if this resonates with you, is I've been going back to learning more and more about the medicines from the Caribbean and their history of it. And that's been very powerful for me because that's part of my lineage. And if anything, it's made me more connected with my path as a medicine woman. So some of you are being called to respect the way that your ancestors have done it, even if it wasn't the right way to this time right now, to the evolution of humanity and the earth right now. However, we are fully respecting it. My question is, can you respect and forgive what has happened? That's where you have to come to. That is the deeper knowledge you have to understand. And in doing that, now you rewrite the book. Now you step forward and shift it. Now you know what you have to do differently. But until you're able to come to that understanding, that human understanding, which is what this by the book is all about, human understanding, with the law of compensation, the law of attraction, the law of karma, the law of thought, all those laws are really activated in the next 6 months, is coming in harmony with what was and what is, what was happening and what is. Okay, so I'm even seeing that some of you being really angry and frustrated, and it's not about like, please stop doing like the whole affirmations and let's be positive and da da da. Like, no, that's the spiritual ego coming in, just being like, let's do more meditations, let's do more affirmations, let's do more ceremonies. Like, it's not that. You gotta sit with it. You gotta sit with your process. And again, I'm going so deep, but guys, Spirit told me I had to share this with you. You're going deep with your process, but in that, I'm going to talk about the reward in the next part of the reading. But this is important for us to just sit where you are so everything can come up, okay? When this card appears, submits the structure and follow the rules, even if it doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense to human sense, what you have to do based on the deeper knowledge that you got with the owl spirit, just do it anyways. It doesn't have to make sense. The funny thing is, life doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. We as humans find understanding or want to find understanding in everything. But the thing is, the understanding of things evolve. The energy doesn't stay still, right? And if it stays still, it's staying still because there's a fear of something, or it just wants to be stagnant for a reason. And that's a choice of energy. But at the end of the day, when we look at it on a quantum level, which is what I want to bring to you, and if what I'm talking to you right now is over your head, that's okay. It's going to talk to your soul. And if it's like, you're like, Shika, you're talking to my soul, like you are hitting, great. Regardless, this video is going to go to whoever it needs to. But if you are hitting it, you're feeling like deep right now, let's put like a sweating smiley emoji with the little like sweat down below, because I'm feeling it. So this is really big. Open your eyes to your universal laws, okay? We're going back to basics. We're going back to what I am is what I attract. The person that broke my heart I'm a part of that shadow too. The person that I want to be, and I'm like feeling like I want friends. I did a post on TikTok the other day about loneliness, and this was a big revelation. Like, I chose to be lonely too. Like, yes, I had to remove a lot of my friends the last 2 years, but that was a choice that I made, right? And that's a choice that maybe you made as well. And why did you make that choice of being lonely? So it's like understanding that what you are is what you fully attract. And sometimes that's hard for us to receive, but it's true. Law of karma, what we do is what we get. Law of thought, what we think is what we are. What we think is what we consume. These are all the law of nature. Nature is a cycle. Cycles start and they end. There's no end in time, and that's why time doesn't exist on a spiritual level. It exists in human to give us structure, and that's what we're honoring, the structure of our ancestors. But we're also honoring the law of karma, the law of attraction. That's where we blend tradition with modern. And that's why I think it's so important as a collective for us to know our history. The next cards I got for you guys here, before I go on a full tangent, and I want to get into the 6 month as well, is community. Okay, so you guys got community. A lot of you are being called to completely wipe out your community right now. And some of you are being called to even see the true colors of your community right now. The Leo is going to teach you that once you remove the validation of other people, like that ego that wants to be fed, that it doesn't feel love, that it doesn't feel, and I don't want to say love like you don't love yourself at all, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that like you witnessing that I actually do, asking yourself when you've received the answer through the Leo full moon distance energy healing meditation I did for you guys, which you can do 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. And even when you see this, you can still do it. Even if the full moon is done, I would highly suggest you doing it. This is telling you that in honor of community, like you have to understand that your community is who you are. Law of attraction. Your community is part of you, right? We attract our community. And because some of you have evolved so much on your spiritual journey, you just have to come to conclusion that your community has served you and it's closing that door. Now there's a new community waiting for you. Others are going to need to do that, or else you're going to sit stagnant. Did I say about stagnant energy? Stagnant energy doesn't want to change. You create change, but then do you receive the change? That is what community is about. Community is knowing that we are a connection and we are part of something bigger, and that every person in a group, a friend, a group, or a family member has a part. Right? I like to give myself as an example here, just for you guys to know in context. Like, I come from a big family, and each and every single one of us are very different, super different. Like, I am like more, spiritually connected and consciously, and like I talk on various dimensions that maybe my family doesn't really resonate with all the time, and that's okay. Some of them have come around. My one sister, super artistic, like beautiful and amazing what they do. The other one, super scientific. Like, we're each so different, and then we're also empathically different. Like, we express emotionally differently. So it's like when we're come together, it's such a different dynamic, because each and every single one of us has a different perspective, has a different way, different energy, a different thing that we give when we have a gathering together. So the same thing with friends, the same thing with your partnership. Like, community is what allows us to understand what books need to be rewritten, right? Within our life for our soul's highest timeline. When our relationships are our biggest teachers. Yes, school is important, critical thinking is important, but what we're seeing in the future is that we're starting to understand how to weave them. We're even seeing it now that more and more parents are wanting to homeschool their kids, because they're understanding that right now, maybe the new earth isn't ready, but right now the earth is like still in a time of transition, and they're understanding that, well, maybe their kids need to learn other ways. Like, it's more than what we've been taught. Right? More and more people are learning to go back like our ancestors. And this is why I buy the book. It's respecting what they've done and also evolving. Back in the day, you knew George had flour. You traded flour of George for your pears. Like, that was the way that we learned. And now we're seeing this transition where more of our collective is like becoming more community oriented. Those are the successors and the leaders of the future, our community-based people. And this is why, in order for us to do that, we need to be heart-centered. And in order for us to be heart-centered with this Leo full moon and the next 6 months, our spiritual ego needs to be checked in. Okay? Checked in. And that means that there's a lot of truths that are needed to be faced. There's a lot of understanding of our past that we need to honor. There's a lot of reclaiming that, yes, this is my biggest thing that's going to come up for you guys, and it's coming here because it's important for you. It's not your fault what happened to you, but it is your responsibility to heal. It's not your fault what happens to you, but it is your responsibility to heal. That is why you're here. That is the biggest thing. This Leo full moon is teaching us that it is our responsibility to heal our hearts. It is our responsibility to love ourselves. It is our responsibility to understand what scarcity our family members felt and what survival mode and why they were on survival mode. Was it because they were from a war zone? Was it because they experienced slavery? Was it because they had genocide? Was it because they experienced struggle and they were worried about their bills, the family members before us? And then even though right now I have all the abundance I still feel the scarcity of them because the energy has transferred into our blueprint. That is why, again, this card is like the book by the book is understanding that we respect the stories before us, but we also are welcoming new stories to come. And the new stories to come and the evolution of the future only comes for you the moment that you recognize the history of your family and your lineage. The next part I want to talk about is leg up and happiness. Okay, these cards go hand in hand before we go into the 6-month spread, guys. So I'm going to share them with you. So leg up is just saying, don't be afraid to ask for help in a time of transition. And this could be the people that you never even thought you were going to ask for help for in the first place. And now they're the ones that are there. Happiness. This just makes me so happy. And there's a little rainbow in the background. Rainbow is a representation of hope. I know some of you are in various transitions. You're in a time where there's so much being brought to you of like, this is what I got to do. Let's do it. But it's also calling you to be patient, right? And the leg up and the community card is really calling you to understand, ask your community for support. And if you don't have a community yet, they're coming. So just keep manifesting it. What does that look like? Script out to yourself. What are the friends I want to call in? To the T. To the T, right? Because then we end up going to the space where we manifest friends and we're like, this is not what I asked for. Well, you didn't explain exactly, right? So to the T, like you're ordering a pizza or a medium rare or like to the T, okay? Another thing to consider as well is it's not your fault what happened to you, but it is your responsibility to heal. So also understanding what are the wounds around validation and self-love with relationships, right? Where do you feel the shadow of that comes up when you are with someone that is fully open with their heart? Does jealousy come up? Does feeling of betrayal come up, right? Those things are all things that you're going to need to tap into during this Leo full moon and probably the next month or two after with the shadow of it, of more of the things coming up, and then going into the 6 months of your harvest, which I'm going to talk about. So this is the first bit. Let's go into the 6 months. Okay, let's go into how this connects. I want to go into first like what that is. Let me know what's resonating with you right now in the comment section. Again, rewatch this because it's gonna hit 6 months later. It's gonna hit, like it will hit. And if it's hitting right now, well, that's great too. Like it's just, it will hit you when it's supposed to, and whoever's meant to watch this will watch this. Okay, so let's get into more of the next card. So just taking a deep breath in, let's reset our bodies. What cards do we need to know for the next 6 months and where the collective will be, where these beautiful souls will be, what are the messages for them? Okay. Yeah, a lot of cards. So let's make some room here because I got, this is, usually I only pull a few, but today I'm pulling so many. I'm doing a full spread with you guys. So, wow, you guys got a lot of cards today. Okay. Okay, so let's get right into it. What's not for you? next 6 months is about like, you are literally, what I'm seeing right now is like macheting. Like I talked about this in the Leo, so this is perfectly aligned. So you got mending and what's not for you. You're gonna have to just be so assertive the next 6 months of like what isn't for you, right? We're talking about in general in life, right? Well, I think one of the biggest things I'm gonna share with you guys is the last, I'm gonna say 4 years. I'm not even gonna say 3 years because of what has been happening on global scale. The last 4 years, I've gotten so many messages from you guys, and I've also felt energetically that we have gone through this huge, massive realization that our life right now, if we are not living life to the fullest of our capacity, in the fullest energy that we can, then what are we living for? And I don't know, this just felt like for me to come in, but like showing up in the best way. And some days we will not be able to show up as much as yesterday, and that is okay. But what this is telling me is that every day you will find out what is more and more for you. And this goes to anyone who is in a space and a crossroad of finding their purpose, finding their soulmate, finding their success, that every day is a part of that piece of the puzzle. So I want you to ask yourself every day, how can you come to a space of truth of what is and what isn't for you? And this is where the fortune cookie comes in, right? And this is also, I always point out things that I think will resonate specifically for this reading. So we have the chess board, there's the fortune in between, it's in the center, and there's the black and the white, right? Black and the white represent the shadow and the light of yourself, right? And in between, what balances it is the truth of the fortune. Your fortune will happen regardless of who plays here. If your shadow is more of the focus in your life, that's okay. Are you in your truth though? Are you still saying what is and isn't for you? If you're in the light, if you're in a space where there's positivity, there's a lot of new growth, you're excited, that's fine. Are you still in your truth? And this is where our ego is getting checked in, right? So again, what isn't for you right now, we're going to read it. This is number 6. So if 6 is a number that you've been seeing, angel numbers, go check out my angel number video 1, 2. This is for you even more. A clear knowing that something is being denied. You are in rejection is God's protection. So whether you yourself is denying something, the truth will come. This is what this card means. And whether you've been rejected of something in the next 6 months, this is to protect you for something better for you. For example, if you're dating someone, everything's going well, and then all of a sudden you feel the sense of rejection. Intuitively, you're like, I don't know. Like we thought we were doing the thing, but it was not doing the thing. Rejection is a sense of protection. Every time you get rejected and a part of you feels that abandonment, it's not that you're being abandoned, it's the complete opposite. Spirit, universe is actually giving you so much love to protect you, whatever you believe in. So there are times when we appear that no matter how deeply you desire something, no matter how hard you work at something, the result you seek always seems to elude you. It's as if you really get to be in this game and you feel like you're watching from the sidelines. The appearance of this card indicates that you are not going to attain what you want right now, and that indeed your dreams are exact thing that is not to be fulfilled right now. So what this is telling me is like in the Leo full moon going into, I want to say halfway to the 6 months, you're going to realize that what's not for you, the rejection is to protect you, to get you to what is for you, right? And that mending, you might be called to go and do some mending, some healing for yourself, even if, again, you have healed and sewed this again and again and again. It's almost like a sweater. And this is what I was telling someone that I just served Cambo in a ceremony the other day. It's like a sweater, right? When we have a sweater, I had my friend of mine knit me a sweater the other day, and I had a little hole in it. I've been using it quite a bit, but I now need to sew the hole. And it's a little hole, it's not huge. But what this represents as far as that is like, I have this beautiful sweater, I'm enjoying what it feels like, and then if I see the hole in the sweater, I feel like it's less of. And that's the analogy of what I'm giving to you. What if I felt that that was less of? What if I felt, oh man, now there's this hole in this sweater. It's not as complete as what it was. It's still complete. It just means that you need to go and just mend it a little bit. You are always going to face the shadow. Like, that's not something you can write around. Where there's dark, there's light. Where there's light, there's darkness. That is something that this world and what life is all about. And that's why I always say that there is a beauty in suffering sometimes. When we don't get what we want, when we get rejection and we experience that missing of it, it brings us more closer to the feeling of what it feels like to want it more. And when we want it more from our hearts, we know we genuinely want it. And that's kind of a test from the universe, is like, how much do you want this for you? How much do you want, what you are manifesting, what you want to bring into your life for you, not for other people outside of you. And that's what the Leo full moon is initiating. We're taking the rug of the ego, wanting everything materialistic and externally outside of you. And we're making you sit with yourself. And that requires rejection. That requires some experience of the emotion of pain for you to then realize what you actually want. And that's okay. So again, this is so crucial. I'm like, this is so deep, and I'm so happy I'm going over this with you guys. Let me know if this resonated. If it did, put a rainbow emoji. Take heart, for there is a benevolent forces who desire the best for you. Exactly what I just said, this card. And have a much clearer idea of what you are on this highest good. Rejection is the universe, God, spirit, whatever you trust in, protection. Something much better than will make you truly happy in this way. Trust this. So how can you trust this rejection? Essentially, ask yourself, how can I trust the rejection and also trust the acceptance of what comes for me? Now, the next 6 months, we go a little further closer. I'm saying about like maybe 4 to the 5 month mark, message in the bottle and fates. So now you're starting to realize at this time, okay, now I know what Chica was talking about. Like, this is probably around your end of May to June, right? You're like, okay, I get it. I understand. You are now going to get this divine message. Like, I feel like some of you are even at this time experienced, I want to see a ceremony. My throat is starting to itch as soon as I said that. A ceremony, an experience, like some kind of journey that you've gone through that is integrated. And through this integration, you are now this divine connection to source. And the fates have happened. Like, now you are starting to see in the human 3D form, things are coming to you. Which brings me back to the Leo full moon, February 5th, 2023. This Leo full moon is paving the path for the 8-8 portal. This is something people don't talk about. And I shared about this, and I'm going to talk about it more deeper here. And I talked a little bit about it on my TikTok. What is the 8-8 portal? Every year on the 8th of August, on the 8th month of the year, is a year of manifestation. It's a year of abundance. It's a year where the lion totem, the lion energy, the tigress energy supports us to find our biggest power within ourselves, to claim and to allow us to initiate infinite abundance as it is our birthright. That's essentially what it is in a summary. So when we look at the Leo full moon, what I have seen and felt and channeled here for you is that everything that I've received and all the things that I've nailed into for you, all the things I focused on, all the words that I've channeled for you, is to then initiate and to support you on what you want to create and what abundance you want to hold. Because when the 8th of August happens, the 8-8 portal happens, everything that you've mended, you've healed, you've rejected, you've stepped into and understood the balance of what was of your ancestral lineage and what is and what continues to be. When you have noticed the community you had to remove out of your life to hold a new community that is waiting for you for your highest level, is going to all make sense. You're going to hit, you're going to be like, oh, this is why. So initially the first 3 months is about you clearing that all out. It's understanding, asking yourself, what is not for me? What do I need to mend in my heart? Look at my ancestral lineage, my grandmother. I'm focusing on my grandmother, saying like, this is how she did it in her time. Why? I respect it, but this is how it needs to be done for this lineage now, for moving forward. And every lineage helps heal more and more. It's all connected, right? My mother, this is the way her story, this is what happened. Now I've held the blueprint of all those before me, and it's here, it's now for this new earth. How am I shifting it forward? How am I stepping into abundance for the new earth? It is now a new world. But am I still living the world that was? Am I still living the world that is not mine? And making it an excuse of not healing, the responsibility for me to heal. That is deep. Flexible and imagine. Flexible is telling me for you guys in the next 6 months, success is not going to be the way it is. Manifestations is not going to be the way it is. Any way that you've manifested in the past, throw it out. Because what Spirit is saying here is you are starting to manifest a completely different way. You've expanded so much. Be flexible to understand that success will not come out the exact same way that you want it to be. You know, we think we know what we want, but then we're like, okay, maybe we don't know what we want. Okay. So here it's just saying be flexible to receiving things the way the universe gives it to you. They will give you a door that doesn't look like the door you were manifesting, but through opening that door and through that rejection, you are actually being on the right path to get you to where you need to be, right? It's like almost like if you were to go a certain route every day to bike to the grocery store, right? And that's the route you take. That's the route on the map. That's the route. It's like, I go this route every single day. What if you were to take the side streets? What if you were to take another route and still get there and take maybe a turn, a wrong turn, a different turn, for example, not even a wrong turn, a different turn to get to the same grocery store? Yes, it takes a little longer in human time, but maybe you find a really cute bakery that now is your favorite bakery. Maybe you bump into someone that becomes the love of your life. Maybe you find out a cute, gym place, and the gym place, you go every day. And then through that gym place, you see someone and you become best friends with them because you both notice each other at the gym at that same time. So what I'm trying to say is be flexible of what is coming to you and get out of your way. Stop controlling. Stop controlling the messages Spirit's trying to give you. It doesn't have to look a certain way. I always tell people when they start to connect with guides and guardians and different beings, they're like, well, I'm not hearing anything. I'm not seeing anything. But it's like, they might communicate with you differently. And two, like, are you scared of seeing them? Then maybe they don't want to scare you. So they're going to show you a different way. Maybe they'll find a human to bring the message for you. So my question is just really try to be flexible and also imagination. Instead of waiting for the 8/8 portal to happen, that's happening on August 8th, which is around, our 6-month point from now until this whole reading, I really suggest you guys really doing is start manifesting it now. Between now and April, start pulling that energy. And between April when the retrograde happens is your rest time. This is when you're just like being in the space of rest and letting things ripple. But now is like go time. What do you want to bring in? What is the abundance you're going to do? What are the little steps you're going to do and dedication you're going to do to bring that responsibility? Because again, we want all those things, but are we taking and honoring it? Are we dedicating to it? How are you showing up in the best way that you can? And it's not your fault what happened to you, but it is your responsibility for you to do something about it. And that was a big part of me moving from victimhood from my journey, and a lot of, I think, clients as well, and people, and you beautiful souls that have been sharing on your comments, is like moving from victimhood and moving from the space that life is working against me and rejecting the rejection and rejecting the path and rejecting the signs is going into victimhood. You are deciding to be a victim. You are deciding to be a stagnant energy. And with stagnant energy becomes a lower frequency. With lower frequency receives lower opportunities. And I don't want to say lower opportunities. I want to say lower energy. Let's shift that. Take that out. Lower energy. Right? So sit with that. How do you want to see yourself 6 months from now? When the 8/8 portal comes, you're like, I am ready, Spirit. We've been working on it. The things are happening. I am so for it. It is done. And now all I got to do is meditate a little bit more, get a lot extra boost. But I'm not waiting for that 8/8 portal out of desperation. I'm not waiting for that 8/8 portal out of victimhood. I'm not waiting for that 8/8 portal because I am lonely and I am not allowing myself to connect with my community and asking for help. We sometimes use spiritual tools, and including nature, moon, the seasons, herbs, plant medicine, meditation, affirmations, mentors as things we depend on. Dependency is given of power. That's why I tell a lot of people I hold space for, I am only a door opener for you. I am not here to mother you, and I'm not here to mother my community either. I'm here to guide you because I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel like the ball is in your court, because it is. It's always in your court. It is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to receive the messages that resonate with you, journal it out, and then see what you need to do that's best for you. You know, it's one of the biggest things. People guide, plants guide, nature guides us. That's why we go back to this card, law of attraction, law of nature. We got to respect what has happened and what is in order for us to then receive it and step into the responsibility. So how are you going to be responsible in the next 6 months to your reality? What are you going to do to make the changes? How are you going to do it? How are you going to surrender to the signs and just move through the life and be attentive to it? What are you going to do with that? And again, if you would like to know more deeper clarity on that, you're more than welcome to book a reading with me. It's going to be only in February, and I can support you on that. And also I think it'll be really great for you to be in a ceremony with a retreat. If that's something that you feel like you want more of an in-person experience, highly suggest you applying to the retreats, because that's going to really be deep for you. Let's finish this reading, guys, because we've been hanging out for a while, and I want to, you know, give you some time to take in everything I shared. So let's see what your ancestors have to share with you here in the next 6 months and like what's coming up for you. Oh my gosh, you guys are just like, we're getting a full reading today. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Again, next 6 months is change for you, and then the 5th month, the August, is like you receive what you've worked for. So we have Lady, enjoy growth and reap your rewards. May I say more? May I say more? An apple represents abundance. I don't really have to say much to this. This is just saying, like, do the work, get it done. Let's do it, okay? And Knight is be brave and honest. So here it's just saying be in honesty, tune in and catch yourself, you know? Sometimes the ego needs to be caught and needs to be like pulled in. And that is why a lot of my work, I really like pick all of the ego stuff and like what's coming in and like put it right in front of you. The Knight is showing here as a masculine energy, right? Even though he is strong and he's in this energy of holding, he also shows vulnerability with the tears in his eyes. So this is saying be honest, be vulnerable. Be honest when you need help, leg up card, right? This card that we got at the beginning. Be honest when you need support from your partners, from your community. You're not less of. It doesn't mean you're weak. You know, maybe that's a part of you that you've been taught and the patterning that you've been taught from your ancestors. And again, we're understanding it, and now we're like, it's time for us to take the responsibility to heal it. Be brave. Brave doesn't mean working harder. What does brave mean to you? If this resonates for you, and if you are someone who tends to do a lot of your successes based on what you do, and maybe your lineage has been taught, like the more you work, the more successful you are, or it's what you have and how you've created your reality, I invite you to sit with the shadow work prompt. What does bravery mean to me? What does honesty mean to me? Because this card is going to really help you. Okay. The next card is ignite your passions. The next 6 months is about igniting what abundance means to you. Now, I want to say abundance loosely, because abundance isn't like money only. Abundance can also mean like happiness, time, laughter, food. Like, what does abundance mean to you? Ignite your passions. Some of you are feeling like it's not for you. And I always like to say the signs that what's not for you is you feel like the fire is running low, right? Your inner fire is feeling low. And this means relationships, your partnerships. This is a sign for you. If you feel that there's 2 steps that I'm getting for you guys, and this is really deep. 1, once you've connected with your ego, your spiritual ego, we cleared that, we pulled at the rug, like how much do you need to take responsibility for your healing and sit with your ish, like not look for other tools to support you all the time. Take that responsibility. The next thing that I'm seeing for you is ignite your passions. And if you don't feel passionate about a relationship and you're in denial, going back to what's not for you, you're rejecting the rejection. If you are not passionate about your job, if you're not passionate about your circumstance, hello, let's be in the truth. See your mirror, see your truth. It is what it is. And here it's telling you, this is a sign that it's not igniting you. What are you going to do about it? Maybe that means stepping away from the relationship, even if that doesn't make sense to your human, or having that hard discussion. Maybe that means for you is like making that space for a new community, for a new relationship. Maybe that means for you, like, I need to just make the steps and the responsibility to change my job. You can't be complaining about your job all the time and thinking that things are going to change. You are the one that is not taking the responsibility. Well, because I have this and that. Yeah, the responsible thing is actually to do what is best for your own well-being. And when you can do what's best for your own well-being, you have the energy to enjoy your growth and reap your rewards. But until then, you are in an energy that everything is against you. And with that creates stagnant energy. And with stagnant energy makes us feel unmotivated. Stag, trust and thrive. Trust your process, you will thrive. Trust your process, you will thrive. If it doesn't make sense to the human, that's okay. But just be welcome to trust it. Okay, and if you're resonating with the stag, maybe calling that totem to support you. The last card we have is the Lord. Take charge and authority. Oh my God, I don't even have, this is like your whole reading. Take responsibility, take action the next 6 months. Okay, guys, we're not in retrograde for most of those months, going all the way till April. So what are you gonna do? How are you gonna take responsibility for your reaping your rewards when the AAA portal comes, when August comes? Because all of August is like fully unleashing that compound energy. What compound energy means is all the healing and all the things you're doing and all of the rejection and all the lessons and all the failures are all supporting you to hold the space of all the abundance and everything that you're gonna get when August comes this year. So this is so deep. This is so deep. I hope you enjoyed the deeper meaning of what this Leo full moon meant for you. I hope you understand now more of like what to expect the next few months and the work that has for you. Do the work, do it up, make your reality. How are you gonna change your reality? Let me know in the comments what's coming up for you intuitively. As you're watching this video, what is coming up for you? Let me know if there's any questions that you have. And if you like this, like me just doing these readings, let me know if you want more so I can share more. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells so you don't miss a video. I do these videos every single week for you lovely souls. And again, if you would like to join the Happy Seeding Intention 4-week program that's happening in February, you can apply down below, and then also, or message me on Instagram actually would be better. And also for readings, if you would like to book a reading for me, there's only limited spots available. I'm capping it at a certain amount. It'll be only at February. So for February, you can book a reading with me and I can go more in depth for you of what to expect and we can have a chat together. And lastly is my retreats. If you've been wanting to go in the healing community and work with medicines, I would love to work with you in shadow healing and really working with those and making sure that you can honor this responsibility of your healing. The cards I want to leave you with is loneliness. I know that I am never alone. I know that I am never alone. If you resonate with this, write this and type this down below. And the last card, growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing 6 months and Leo full moon, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.